If you could be the person you wanted to be today, what would you be willing to do to achieve that identity? How much money would you be willing to spend? How many books would you be willing to read? And how many seminars, workshops, and coaching programs would you be willing to attend? All these methods are good for your external identity, but what about the internal identity of your mind? That's right, your mind has an identity, and that identity is situated, not in the external possibles, but the internal and infinite impossibles. Therefore, to be the person you are trying to become externally, you have to become everything that you are not, internally. Everything that you are not is not money, is not the books you read, and is not the coaching seminars or programs you attend. It is everything on the other side of time your mind imagines you can become. We are all gifted with the same 24 hours in each day, but why is it that some people can seemingly achieve more than others? It's not because they are successful, because as prospects of life, we are all winners, because we are still here. We all have the same minds and the same intelligence as everyone else, but what people who appear to be successful have is control of time. Do you know that time has its own language, and that language, if known, will allow you to create your internal identity? We have all heard the saying, as within, so without, as above, so below. This means that if there is no known identity to a language of time on the inside within, that you will have no identity of time for the outside you can harmonize, without, of an external world which is yours. The language of external time we use to speak to one another is the influence of an equally external vocabulary that controls passages of time, which follows one direction. And that one direction of time creates illusions, which from the outside appears to be successful for the people who understand it, and they manipulate its transmissions to control realities which look like success. That passage of time is the language you are using right now to listen to me, and this is the same dialect that we all buy into, because it is all we can believe in ourselves. However, there is more to this reality than we can imagine. Our language is not the inspirations above the possible, as the impossible. It is not the inspirations above the thinkable, as the unthinkable, and it is not the inspirations above the imaginable, as the unimaginable. That time are controls to keep you beneath where you are now. We all know and can tell the external factors of what the time is in its hours. We know where the time is in its minutes, and we all know when the time is in its seconds, but we do not know and cannot internally tell why the time is, how the time is, and more importantly, who the time is. The why, the how, and the who of time have no reference like the reference of a clock. They are internal infinities of every inspiration controlled solely by you, but that time has no identifiable language. Who the time is the internal identity of mind and imagination as who you want to become, which you do not know, and therefore, your without is as lost as your within, and thus, your below will have no foundations of time to an above it can climb. Where there is no reference to orientations of internal time, we cannot scale and create the external realities we want. This method is called mirroring. To reflect the inside you want to be projected on the outside, mirrors of time need to be aligned using a language of harmonics, which is a language greater than the words we speak to one another and internally to ourselves. Is the who you want to be, the job that you are doing, is the who you want to be, the house you are living in, is the who you desire to be, the life you are experiencing now? If not, that who is an influence of language below you, as an imposter pretending to be your life, which will only allow you to influence one passage of time that it says are your permitted limits of existence. If you join Mind Remapping today, you can begin to create an internal identity, becoming the without and below of the internal who of the impossible, unimaginable, and unthinkable, as the who you really are within, inspiring life above the limits of your external ego, which is not you, because you forever will always be time.